Alright guys, so I'm happy to say I'm back in Canada now. Can't lie, missing the weather in South Florida, but it's really good to be back here with the dogs. So, literally landed a few hours ago. I'm now back at the facility. The first thing I like to do with my dogs is work them because they've been sitting for a week, and as you can hear, they're really excited to get going. So the first dog I'm going to work is Chico. We're just going to do a round of really like active, fun obedience. My goal is to tire the dog out, blow him out mentally and physically. You know, he hasn't done anything for a week. I don't have a ball, so I'm just going to pull a brand new MCRS ball off the rack. You can order these on my website, of course. Shameless plug. That's all I should do. It should just be a giant infomercial from now on. But anyways, today we're actually going to train. I don't know if there's any like other trainer that trains their dogs live. Because you know what? He is amped. Like he is amped. Like he's going to make mistakes. And I'm going to use positive reinforcement. I'm going to use negative reinforcement. So a lot of people ask me like, what command do you use? Like what collar do you put on the dog? I'm going to show you what I do to get the dog active. Down. It's a nonverbal cue. I just look into his eyes, right? People don't believe me when I say that. I don't know why. I just literally look at him. Break that knee ball in, Chico. You know, Chico's funny, eh? Whenever when the rope is on the ball, he likes to just hold the rubber part of the ball. If there's a rope, he'll spin it out, mess with it until the rope is off, and then he'll just have the rubber in his mouth. He loves the rubber, doesn't like the rope. He'll bite whatever. It's funny, he always readjusts it. Usually I see dogs that like the rope more than the ball, but for him, he's real particular about that. Down. So we're going to go and do some happy healing. Out. Oh man, by the way, I got some new t-shirts in. Down. That were inspired by some of the by some of the people on Facebook that were encouraging me, let's say, being sarcastic. So I have some new t-shirts done. I'm wearing one right now. I'll show you guys after this session. Now, people always ask me why I use the e-collar, and I'm using one right now, right? I haven't used it actually yet, but why do I use it? Oh, you shouldn't need an e-collar. It's not that I need the e-collar. It's that I'm constantly giving the dog feedback, because it's not enough that he does the thing. Now, doing the thing isn't enough. I don't need the dog to do the thing. Any idiot can get the dog to do the thing. I need him to do the thing to the very best of his ability. You can see that all this dog wants to do is the thing, right? Whatever the thing is. I want him to do the thing perfectly. And for him to do the thing perfectly, I need to constantly give him feedback so that he keeps himself in a perfect state with all the behaviors. So you can use a leash for that. You can use an e-collar for that. You can use a stick for that. There's a lot of different ways that you can give that dog tactile feedback to help him stay correct, to help him stay straight, right? But you must do it. If you don't do it, then you're going to have a dog who's very willing, but he'll be very loose, right? He'll be very loose, and he won't be correct in the behaviors. And I'm in a sport where performance isn't just judged by how willing the dog is, it's judged by how correct the dog is. And both those things need to be present. So that's why I use the e-collar, not because I need it. You really think if I took the e-collar off of him right now, I mean, I've done it 100 times in video, so I'm not going to do it right now. But like, do you think if I took the e-collar off him right now, he would leave? Of course not. Right? I just need to get constantly, I'm steering the car constantly, oh, a little bit here, a little bit there, right? Maybe a little more gas sometimes a little brake, right? Constantly channeling the power of the dog to get optimum performance. Foos, see right there. Now, I told him Foos, what did he do? He went up and then Foos. Now watch. Foos. right? A little tighter, down. We do it again. Foos. Even better. Both those times I use the e-collar, right? Because it tightens the dog. It lets him contain his power a little more and channel more directly into behaviors. Foos. She's dead. I knew my remote was acting up. Oh! Now, see, my remote's done. I got like 1 bar left. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit more of a loose section. But that's fine with me. That's some negative reinforcement. I almost tripped over him because he turned in so hard. Foos. See, now he's really pushing hard to make those left turns a little tighter. The first about left that I did there, right? I made the movement. You see, now he's really working hard to get there. Whereas before he did it, but he wasn't applying everything into that left turn. Now, every little move I make, corrects himself. He makes sure his rear end, right, is perfectly in alignment with mine. Good boy. Foos. Good. We'll do a sit motion. My collar is dead again, so I know I'm going to try and keep turning it back on every time it dies on me. Foos. I'm going to apply some negative reinforcement on this sit here. Sit. Sit. You got no more juice. I don't know, I guess I didn't plug this in while I was gone, so it died. Oh, 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 yeah, boy. Blocks, out. Sit. Good. Foos. Foos. Look! See that sloppy plots? For this dog, I use the e-collar, especially when he's in a higher state of drive, and get a little bit sloppier in the positions. Yeah. There's a lot of drive and willingness, but now we're starting to make a few little small mistakes, right? Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Good job, man. Foos. Oh, that's nice. Good. We're going to do a standing motion now. Foos. Again, it could have been tighter. Yeah. Could have been a little tighter, right? That's the e-collar for a dog like this with this type of training. It makes like inches. It's the difference of inches, right? When you put that negative reinforcement and you insert, especially when the dog is in such a high state of drive, the negative reinforcement, if you think about like a car down, think about like a train going really, really fast, right? What the negative reinforcement is it's train tracks that guides like that bullet train that's going super fast in the direction you want it to go, right? When you don't have the train tracks there, it'll still go where you need it to go, but there's some swerving, there's some, you know, all that drive and power, right? This dog, the difference is like, so like if you watch like a border collie or an Australian shepherd or one of those types of dogs work, right? And you see like FCI obedience work, for instance. I'm not talking about IGP, I'm talking about like, you know, FCI obedience, CKC obedience, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And you can do that, by the way, like positive only, right? But it's a different kind of obedience. The dog is not in power. The dog is happy. That's a different thing, right? This dog is in a state of power. There's so much arousal. There's so much power there. And it's just the nature of these dogs, the drive that they have, the extremity of the drive, right? Those dogs work more from pack drive. These dogs have pack drive. He doesn't have like crazy, he doesn't have like crazy pack drive, but those dogs have like a border collie has crazy pack drive. They're bred like that, right? This dog has extreme drive for objects, and he has extreme drive for arousal. He's a dopamine fiend. He loves it, right? So down, right? He doesn't work to make me happy, per se. He doesn't work just for the toy. He works for a combination of taking the toy and that dopamine fix that I give him, right? By allowing him to engage in arousal. If I just tried to make it happy, for sure he would do it, but we would be at about 50%. And in the sport that I'm in, we want power. We have real working dogs. They need to be powerful. They can't just be like happy. They need to be boom, boom, boom. You guys see the difference, right? Go watch the FCI obedience. It's cute and all, and it's, you know, fun to watch, but it's not the same. These dogs are in a state of power. Out. This is a brand new ball. Look at this. Down. And this is drive, guys. Like, look at him. This is drive, right? Like, you can see it. Out. Out. Let's see if we have a little more juice here. Good. I'll turn this, see if I can get. Yeah. You see what I mean about arousal? I don't tell him to bond with me. Look at him. Look at his body. Here. Nice boy. Food. You can start to understand maybe a little bit about these dogs when you watch how this dog works, right? See if I can squeeze a little more juice. Sometimes if you leave them off for a while and then you turn them back on, I'm going to need a little bit of tightness here. Ready? Go on, Chico! Sit. Nice boy. A little bit disordered there, but it wasn't too bad. And again, my collar was gone. No. Down. Out. Down. Down. Food. Food. We do a dumbbell retrieve. Why not, eh? Why not? Let's do a dumbbell retrieve. Now he's really crazy right now, so I bet he's going to hit the jump, but we'll see. Sit. I'm going to refrow that. It's always good good to practice reflows. Sit. Oop. Come here. Boost. I wasn't going to correct him, but that's an example. You see, like, that's where I would use the e-collar, just to tighten these small things up. Up. Free. Sit. Yeah. And you see there when he hits the jump too, right? The drive is just so high, right? The drive is just so high. He's losing a little bit of the concentration, right, that we need. That's where the negative reinforcement comes in. So all of you people ask me, why do you use the e-collar? I use it for that. If I didn't have an e-collar, I'd use a stick, a leash, whatever, right? But it's 2024. I get to use an e-collar nowadays. Yeah. Oi. Yeah. Down. All right, we're gonna do one more exercise with Chico, and then I'm gonna switch out. We'll go to Gage. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Out. Pose. Yeah. All right, we're going to do a send out. Come on, Chico. Down. Down. Out. Disgusting. Ooh. Now you can see I don't need to make more, but I will. Yeah, get it. Sometimes you just push the gas to the front. We're going to do a little send out here. Boost. Go. You guys see that? That was sexy, wasn't it? Did you see that? Look at him. That's power, guys. Like, you're not gonna see border collies doing stuff like this. It's just a different level. Hey, come on. Yeah. But so that means is you're not gonna have the same maybe like level of correctness, but you're gonna have a lot more expression in the dog. And that's why I use negative reinforcement. All right, we're gonna switch dogs. I'm gonna give this boy a break. He's covered me in his slobber. And I'm gonna bring Gage out. Gage will be real happy to see me, because again, it's been a week for him too. All done. Come on. Out. Leave it. Come on. All right. Come on, Chico. I'm just gonna put him in the outdoor pen and I'll grab Gage.
Okay, I'm gonna throw Axis in a crate.
Wait, you kept going, right?
Yeah, it's still going.
Hey, come here. Axis came, she almost got bread. We almost had, with Gage, I'm not concerned. With Chico, he's a little bit of a rapist, to be honest with you. So, she just ran in here, she heard her name, she came running. Man, we don't want half Mal, half German Shepherds. Who would do something like that? Okay guys, so this is Gage again, you know, haven't seen him in a week. So this is not going to be so much of a session where I'm trying to accomplish anything other than letting him have a damn good time and really drive his levels through the roof in terms of, like, you know, dopamine, adrenaline. Like, I want this dog to be, you know, just going all out for the next like 7 to 8 minutes. Are there any questions on there? Like, let me know if there is.
What kind of e-collar we're using with Chico?
I'm using a dog truck.
And then is he always in work mode, or does he get down in playtime?
Yeah, like I take him out in the woods, he'll just walk around and pick up sticks and run around and do his thing out there.
Can you train a French bulldog to do this?
No. You can do fun stuff with a Frenchie, but it's not going to be like that. Like, these dogs are bred to have that level of performance. So if you're seeing that level of performance and you're like, I want a full power Frenchie, not really. It's not going to happen. But, like, can you make a Frenchie focus heel? Sure. Can you teach a Frenchie to play tug and have a great time and you know, make nice obedience? Sure. Is it going to be like what Chico can do? For sure not. Impossible, right?
So let me go put her in a crate.
Right. Okay.
Take that.
Let Ivy put her dog away. Down. Ooh, let's see here. We got some balls. We're going to put our send out ball out. Where are we located? Well, we have multiple locations. We have an Ottawa location. I'm currently at the Guelph location. We have a Woodstock location. So I'm going to pull Gage now, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Any advice for bite inhibition? Yeah, you can buy my book or you can get one of my courses. But fundamentally, what it is your dog just has to understand that no means no, right? Like, there are certain things. Like, if I can make these dogs, these working dogs, so crazy that, you know, they're in such a high state of drive, but they don't bite me, right? They come close, but they don't, right? Because there's inhibition. They understand that no means no. You're not allowed, you know? When you make pressure when the dog does the wrong thing and you make positive reinforcement when the dog does the right thing, it becomes super clear for the dog. Like, you're going to see, I'm going to really open this dog up. You know, he might, you know, I'm going to drive him absolutely crazy right now. So you're going to see kind of like where I go. And then if he bites me or if he tries, you know, to get a little bit past the line of what I allow, then I'm going to put pressure on him until he does the right thing, right? But when you're going to take a dog to that level of arousal, you need to have inhibition. You need to have brakes, just as you have a gas pedal. If you want to push the gas, you better have a steering wheel. You better have brakes, right? Like, an example is this dog over here. Like, look at Ivy's dog, right? Like, you saw when I'm working my dogs, what were those dogs doing, right? They're just hanging out over there. They're not involved, right? But those dogs like to play. Those dogs like to do things, right? But they understand, hey, when I'm playing with my dog or when I'm working with my dog, you have to wait on the bed, right? So it's all about teaching the dog fundamental inhibition. Somebody's asking if I have puppies available. Yes, I do. Well, we're taking reservations, if that's what you're asking. I just bred Taz to Urk. That's going to be a fire litter. I might keep one of those for myself, just as a competition dog, because Urk is such a producer. So I'm really hoping that takes. And then I have 2 more females I'm waiting to breed as well. So if you're interested in getting on our list for a puppy, by all means, get on the list. All right. Why don't you hold that? All right. So with Gage, he's a little bit of a different dog than Chico. He doesn't have the same level of drive as Chico does, but he's more of a frustration dog. So I'm going to make him insane, all right? And then I'm going to channel that into behavior. So again, cue for the dog to light up. See, even the play behavior is a little bit different, right? It's more interactive. Like, Chico likes to have the thing more, Gage likes to fight with me more, right? They're a little bit of a different type of dog. Out. As engaged, checking in, IGP3 obedience. Yep. Come on, man. Out. So what I did there, right? That's what I call a hard out. Yeah, he'll let go, but when you make the lift the collar, you make E on the out. Now the dog goes insane, high level of frustration. He's a frustration dog, so I make him very frustrated. Now you see how he channels the behavior, right? Plots. Now if he breaks, which he might, I'm gonna get him. Plots. See the behavior, right? You have to make a ton of arousal, but you need to be able to channel it. And then you have to have calm. And the dog has to go into a state of concentration. A lot of people on the internet, they'll only show you, you know, tickle, tickle, tickle. Oh, look, you know, it's a little tickle, right? When you drive these dogs to a high state of arousal, they don't feel tickles anymore, right? So when I use negative reinforcement, I'm generally using it with these dogs at a high level, but in a way that they understand, so it channels all that arousal into functional behavior. Foos. Yeah. Woo, that was fun. Come on, boy. That's my boy. Out. Spin. Relax. Foos. Healing. Whoa. Do you see the jumping here? Again, that's an example of drive arousal super high, right? So now it's time to try and things up over here. Yeah. Out. Out. Again, tons of drop, making a lot of drive, making a lot of frustration. You observe the dog's body language. And now putting him back into the work. This from Charlie, this dog?
AXA.
Oh, that's the captain's. I guess they're like, he's like their half uncle. There's a lot of hillbilly stuff going on around here. Spin. Who's? And I like just throwing some. Oops. I like just throwing some behaviors at him that he's not expecting. Like spin. Oops. Right? Just to keep his brain functioning. Just to keep that transmission able to switch. If you get the dog just doing one thing and one thing only all the time, right? Then they struggle to switch behaviors. Foos. So you can make a ton of obedience, like a ton of power in that. Make like a ton of power in the healing. Foods. Sit. You can see how slow that was, right? So now we're going to fix that. Hey, come here. We're going to fix that with one of my trusty Shield Canine slip leads. See the website for details. Out. You see that sit in motion? So before it used to be 5 points. I didn't worry about it too much. They just changed the rules. It's 10 points now. So now we have to make that sit in motion much better. And that's been his weakest positional exercise. Oops. That's been his weakest positional exercise. Probably since ever. So, and I never worried about it. It was 5 points. Maybe we lose 1 or 2. I didn't care, right? Now I care. 10 points. Who's? Sit. We're going to do that one again. Oh! Oh! Out. Who's? Who's? You can see there the hover ass starting. Can't have hover ass. When the dog starts to hover, that's when you start losing the dog. That's when you start losing points. They should have a calm, concentrated basic position. Food. Sit. That one was better. Come on. Whoosh. Nice, man. Out. Do one more. Reset. Foods. Sit. Slow. Do that again. I was planning on not doing one more, but that one wasn't very good. Out. Out. Who's? We're going to be doing a lot of these leading up to the next competition. Who's? Sit. Good job. Yeah. Do it down in motion now. Yeah, boy. Up. Right. Sit. Ooh. Ooh. That's an example, yep, of negative reinforcement on the plots, right? You see how it made him faster? I knew he would be a little bit slow, because he always is after I've let him sit for a while. Oh, sit. I'll do another one here. Good. Now you can see the dog's a little bit lower. That's where we bring the arousal back. Now he's a bit higher. Yes. And the other thing too you can see is he's starting to forge a little bit there in the build up to the down in motion, which is going to mean he's going to down crooked, he's going to down slow, up. And the build ups are really important. A lot of people just think about the behavior. Sit. But you must always think about the build up too. No. Sit. Good. Foods. That was clean. And there was no negative reinforcement on that. Why? because I started to use that negative reinforcement in the earlier repetitions. The dog developed a little bit of expectation, and then you saw the behavior became much more tight. Again, though, you can't just go and do this with a dog that doesn't speak this language. Like, he speaks the language of what I'm doing, so he understands it. If he didn't, we create a lot of stress, right? What we're doing here, is we're creating stress that makes sense to the dog, along with arousal that makes sense to the dog. All the signals make sense to the dog. Out. So now we're gonna butts. Yeah. Out. Here. 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 And again, I always want to see here if the dog understands what the formal front is and exactly how to be straight. Flats. Here. Good job. Foot. Good job, man. We do a standing motion. Oi, out. Foot. Foot. Choking on the spit. Boots. Yeah. That was good. We do a send up. We'll call it day. As you can see now, he's getting tired. Yeah. 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 Let's take off your fetching pink slipping. Up. Boost. Go. Yeah. Good job. Good. Excellent. Down. So, as you can see, guys, this is my first session back. Literally got here a few hours ago. First session back with the dogs. Blowing them out a little bit tonight, so giving them that stimulation that they need, that physical, that mental stimulation that they need. And I know they've been missing me since I haven't been doing it with them all week. Now, I had some t-shirts made. The force-free, positive-only crowd are always accusing me of training with what? Fear, pain, and violence. Also, I got a cigar-smoking dog on there. It's a fun piece of art. So I had this limited run of t-shirts made. I said, you know what? Since I train with fear, pain, and violence, or so I'm told, I said, why not put it on a t-shirt? I don't think anyone else has a t-shirt like that. So I guess I'm going to trademark it. They have to pay me then every time they say it, which is a lot. Yeah, boy. Down. So yeah, I made a limited run of the fear, pain, and violence shirts. I made the to be honest, more for me than for anything else, but I'll put them up in the store for like a limited time. And if you guys want a Fear, Pain, and Violence shirt, you know what to do. Up. Good. Now this is an important part. All done. Come on, Gage. You see how the dog went from a high state of arousal to, okay, we're done, right? That cue means, okay, it's over, man, right? Whereas if I didn't give that cue, I took the ball away, put it in my pocket or whatever else, the dog would still be all over me like he has been the entire session. Now he's looking for water, he's all done. Look at him, right? That's the ability to be able to say to the dog, okay, it's time to go, and now it's like, okay, it's time to stop, right? On, off. All done. Let's go. So guys, let me see if there's any like interesting comments. I'll respond. Other than that, I think I'll terminate. Thanks, Ivy. Someone asked me what size of a crate you guys like the shirt, eh? Hey man, I always have the perception that if someone accuses you of something, you should just lean into it. You know, it's like, yeah, okay. If your supposition is that I train with fear, pain, and violence, and that's how I get my dogs to perform the way that they do, all right then, I guess fear, pain, and violence it is, right? I'm gonna be like, no, you're wrong. Even bigger dramatic fool, right? Plus, it's a pretty cool shirt, I have to say. Anyways, someone asked me about the Roughlands for Gage. It depends what you're talking about. In the back of my side-by-side, I just put him in an intermediate Roughland. In the house, I don't even keep him in a crate. He's just loose. So, I mean, if I wanted him to be comfortable, I'd put him in a large Roughland. Someone goes, the dog needs water. You guys have never been tired in your life. I can tell there's people that haven't been tired in their life, right? It's like, you know that the dog can be tired. He can pant heavily, right? He can work for 10 minutes and then he can have a drink afterwards and he's not going to die. You know, even if I don't give him water right now, you know he's not going to die, right? Like, you probably shouldn't fill your dog with a gallon of cold water right after they exerted themselves. Anybody who off a little bit, then you give them the water. It's not a killer whale. They don't need water constantly because we're transporting Free Willy from his aquarium to the ocean, right? They will be properly hydrated. Don't worry, I don't need your comments to tell me how to hydrate my dogs. I kind of do this for a living, been doing it for a while. But it's always funny, there's something about a dog panting and being tired that bothers people. And I think it's the people that have never themselves exercised and been tired. So they don't really understand how it all works. Yeah, guys, like, look, I want to, someone said the bloat is real AF. Now, I don't know that it bloat. I know in horses it can cause colic if you give a hot horse cold water. And I know that if I exercise a lot and I'm really exhausted and tired, if I drink a gallon of cold water, it's probably not a good idea either. It's going to give myself a big stomach upset. And listen, luckily, I've been blessed that I've never dealt with a situation with bloat. And I think it's because I don't do things like that, where I exercise the dog hard and then give them a gallon of cold water to drink. I always let them kind of cool off and then I give them the water. And I find actually if you let them cool off before you give them the water, they drink less. Whereas if you give them the water right when they're hot from the exercise, they drink way more. And that tells you that they're probably drinking more than they actually need, and it's probably not so good for their system. I know, it's funny. People see, like, these dogs are obviously in excellent physical condition, and then people lecture me about water, and it's like, they just have, like, a fat pet dog at home, right? I'm just like, come on. It's like, I would say it like this, if I was recently at the World Equestrian Center, and I'm, like, watching people that, like, clearly, like, this is what they do. Like, they're doing the show jumping with their horses, and, like, they have top tier horses, and they're performing very well. You can see that they're very skilled riders. Horses are in great condition. It's like if I'm like, man, that horse looks hot. You should probably cool him down and do that. It's like, who are you?
I'm nobody. These guys are clearly professional. They know what they're doing. It doesn't matter what I think I know. They know more. Unless I actually did that and I knew, I wouldn't say any. And I probably still wouldn't say it's none of my business, right? But you see it all the time on the internet and in person sometimes, believe it or not. Eric asks me, how early do you begin teaching the all done? I teach it right away, right with pets, right? Right with puppies. Like, I'll literally say to them at the end of every session, all done, and you wouldn't believe how quickly they learn. Oh, okay, that means he's finished. There's no more craziness now, right? Someone says, Yesenia says, I want to do the secret sauce with Nico, but I'm scared to get jumped and scratched up. You don't have to actually allow them. I allowed Gage to jump on me because I know he really enjoys it. But you don't actually have to allow your dog to jump on you. I just do. Hunter says, how did you get the dog to heel so good? My dog rarely heels when I ask because I don't ask. I don't ask. Didn't you see the shirt? No, but seriously, check out my online courses. If you want your pet dog to heel, you don't need focus healing like that. That focus healing is for the competition field. You just need to walk, like have your dog walk next to you nicely, right? So like, Gage, with me, right? So like, hey, with me, right? So like this, Gage, come here. Sorry, with me. So like this, right? Just walk next to you. You see, he's not like focus healing, right? He's not focus healing. He just walks next to me. His head is down. You know, he's like looking around. Like that's what you need your pet dog to be able to do. So our Elite Off Leash Obedience course will show you how to do that. If you want the focus healing, like the power healing, like I call it, right? You can check out my power healing course also at shieldcanineonline.com. Maxim says, also bark, a bad idea for German Shepherds that live in the home. I actually don't, to barking, look, all of this, I can make them do it. And if you can't make them not do it, you have to understand, like, none of this stuff is like, oh, like, you can just keep doing it whenever you like. It's like, no, when I say it's over, right? Like, you have to have the ability to do that. Otherwise, you have no business making that level of arousal and power. Now, with a pet dog, would I train them to bark at me? For sure not. I don't need it, right? Unless I wanted to do it for fun. But for working dogs, right, it's important that you be able to allow them to exhibit high levels of arousal, and you show them how to control that arousal on, off, channel into behaviors, all the different things, right? Canine Ty says he uses special treats. That's my secret, man. You gave it away. Someone asked me if I had any decoy seminars coming up. I don't really have any right now that I've planned, but I mean, if I do plan one, I'll definitely throw it in there. I'm glad you guys liked it. Jones versus Stipe. I don't know, man. I think Jones, because I think he's something really special that I think he'll even probably be better than John Jones if he manages to stay injury free. But when it comes to anyone that can beat him, I don't think Stipe can do it. Let's see what else. Someone asked me if I'm going to watch the Mike Tyson fight. I'm going to watch the illegal stream on YouTube afterwards. Rachel said, I mentioned bloat because people suggested taking a break for water and then continuing training. Bad idea. Yeah, I'd never do that, ever. Someone says, we won't die either if we don't drink every minute. It's true. When I exercise, guys, and like, I'm no athlete, right? But when I exercise for a half hour, right, I might have a few sips of water max. I probably won't even have anything. The idea that I'm going to take a break to let the dog drink, especially when we're actually in I'm in Canada, right? We're not in like 30-degree heat, but even in 30-degree heat, I'll work the dog for the same amount of time you saw me work him, and we don't stop for water. Water's afterwards. All right, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed the live. I'm going to sign off on this one. Thanks for watching. I thought it would be cool to film the first video of the first obedience training video that I did with these guys right when I got back from South Florida. So glad you enjoyed it. And it was very organic. It is what I would normally have done. So didn't really change anything. I'll see you guys on the next one.